Peace, peace, love, and light. All my high vibrational beings, all my gods and goddesses. I know I'm here to unplug y'all from the matrix with another deep divine download. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Well, we here today, man. This is my first actual live lecture that I'll be doing. It's going to be going on my YouTube channel. And today we're going to be covering a very, very deep topic, man. So I usually don't have my phone around this time, just nature. I usually just ground, but I know I'm doing my podcast out here. I got some notes we're going to share today. So to keep me in line on my notes and keep me on track, I'll be going over those. I'm going to have a slideshow put up there on y'all on the screen for y'all can be able to see, you know, what's going on and what I'm talking about, man, because this is a real deep download today. And this download is basically on Pelican Bay prison in California, Northern California, and how this prison in particular is very, 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 how should I say it, satanic. A lot of energy harvesting going on in these prisons across the world, man. A lot of energy harvesting going on. These inmates that they call criminals, right? They have locked behind bars. A lot of them are brown skinned family. Most of them are indigenous souls of this land that they have in these cells. And they have them in these cells for a reason, man. They harvesting the souls and they harvesting the energy of ancient souls and beings, ancient spiritual warriors that's always guarded this land and guarded in the cosmos, honestly. And you got to understand, the shadow government, they know who you are already. They know it since you landed here. Since your soul landed here, incarnated here, they know who you are, man. They know your cosmic name. They know your whole backdrop. Honestly, they do. It's in their databases. They got it down there, baby. They watch us every day. Especially the ones vibrating high. You know, we all chosen. We all come with that power, right? We all come with that God power, what they would say, right? And that God power is within all of us. And they know this. So what they do is, this system they have called, this prison system, it attacks certain souls from birth. And that's why you got a lot of people that have brothers, sisters, dads, mothers, cousins, all incarcerated and stuck in this prison system. It's a reason why, though. And we're going to break it down today. We're going to break down the good old Pelican Bay. Because you know what Giselle Washington said, right? Pelican Bay ain't got nothing on me. Well, I don't think we got nothing on Pelican Bay compared to what they've been doing for the last 20, 30 years, 40 years. I think they started at Pelican Bay. Let me go to my notes. Let's get straight into it, man. Let's just get straight into it. So Pelican Bay layout is what we're talking about today. The actual layout of Pelican Bay is symbolism and satanic symbolism that symbolizes energy harvesting that comes all and breaks all the way down to the ley lines, disrupting the ley lines that's on planet Kai. And that's what we're going to see today. So the X symbolism is kind of like the first symbolism. We all know it's kind of satanic in a sense, right? X marks the spot. And I'm going to put this ley line up on the screen because, you know, ley lines are basically meridian points for Gaia. That's what ley lines are. They're just meridians that's in the body. Ley lines are meridians that's in the ground with Gaia. Now, the shadow government knows this. Right? These elites, they know this. They know about ley line structures. They know about the 33rd parallel. which all the major cities like lay on, right? For the most part, all the major cities lay on the 33rd parallel, the most powerful parallel in this plane. They ain't gonna tell you that. And it's a lot more powerful parallels out here. That's these ley lines. Now, what they have did with Pelican Bay is they had a layout designed. This prison designs a layout on very, very ancient grounds in Northern California, on the borderline of California and Oregon. Right? So it's the southwest of Oregon and it's the north of California. That's on that borderline. Now, this sacred ley line, this sacred ground, was once owned and nurtured by ancient tribes. These tribes, which I'm putting on the screen right now, are the Taloa tribe. That's one, if I'm pronouncing it right, Taloa tribe. And the Yurok tribe. In this area, the Taloa tribe and the Yurok tribe ran this nation, ran this forest. It's a deep forest that they have put the Pelican Bay in. It's a forest. Very sacred ground, very sacred energy. And they harvested not only from the inmates that they put into this prison structure, right? They also harvesting from the ley lines in the ground, y'all. So when you look at this, right? When you look at this, let's go to it. Let me get on. Let me stay on track now. When you go to these ley lines and you see them right here, it's a hexagon, right? And then it's an X. That just wasn't a coincidence why they built a hexagon and an X dead center in this tribe's territory. Because the ley lines that's connected, right? The ley lines that's connected to planet Gaia, these ley lines connect to Mount Shasta. They ain't gonna tell you this. And I'm gonna throw these ley lines on the screen for you can see it. These ley lines right here in Crescent City, because that's where Pelican Bay is located, in Crescent City, Northern California, on the borderline of Oregon and California, right? Crescent City. So in Crescent City, these ley lines in Crescent City actually connect to Mount Shasta, right? Because the Mount Shasta is the root chakra of this plane. We all know that, right? So they know that. So what they have did was they have disrupted these ley lines by designing this prison structure right on the Taloa and the Yurok tribe. Excuse me if I'm mispronouncing it wrong. And that is just pure facts on facts. Because these ancient tribes, they knew the power. And they knew the ley lines and the connection to Mount Shasta. That's why in this area that I'm talking about in Crescent City, it wasn't a coincidence they picked this location to build Pelican Bay on now. So we about to dive deep now. See, we just getting started, man. We've been to dive real deep, man, about this location, man. So this is an energetic point, right? This is an energetic point on the land. And the reason why this is so energetic, and I'm about to tie it back how Crescent City, Pelican Bay, ley lines connect to Mount Shasta, right? Because of these energetic points in Crescent City, right? But I have my notes. You have all the elements over here in this city. You have all the elements. You got the ocean right there. That's the Pacific Ocean. If you look, Crescent City is right on the coast. It's right on the coast, y'all. right by the water. So you got the ocean element right there, right? And then you have the earth element, that forest that Pelican Bay has been built on. That's the earth element, right? And then you have the fire element, which is the ley lines that's connected to Mount Shasta. Because what people don't know, and what they don't tell you, is Mount Shasta, that mountain, that tree stump, is actually volcanic. Yes, that's volcanic. And one day, soon, that will erupt. Yes. Real shit. They don't want to tell you that. So with that being a volcano and volcanic, that is the fire element tied to this sacred ground that we talking about today, man. Literally, it's crazy, man. It's crazy, and they don't even tell us this type of stuff, right? They don't tell us this stuff. So when you get these elements in this location, right, now you're harvesting. Now we get into the harvesting aspect of it. Why they put an X right on this territory? It's because it's the energetic disruption, right? An X is crossroads. It's an intersection, right? You're not able to have that flow state. Meridians don't have X's nowhere on them. Meridians in your body, and the ley lines in the ground, which are meridians too, they in a flow state. They work in a flow state. It's energetic. They flow straight. And they fluid as well, so they can wiggle it, but they flow straight. It ain't no X's and turns and all that, right? So when they marked an X symbol on this sacred land, they have now caused disruption. Energetic disruption, y'all. That is what's being caused right now. Energetic disruption. That's what that X does. In all the ancient tribes and cultures, the Kemet, right? All the way to the Dogons, they all know what that X actually means. And that's what that X means. That's why you see a lot of intersections all across our land. Boom. There goes that decode for you. That's why you got all these intersections everywhere. Because they're energy disruption and disruptors to the ley lines, which is in the ground. They ain't gonna tell you this. Let's stay on topic, man. I don't want to keep y'all all day, right? So we knowing all the ancient souls, right? Mostly our black and brown, right? Our Latinos, right? Our gods and goddesses. Mostly the people that's incarcerated. They are harvesting their energy. Their energy. Now, I couldn't really get inside photos of how these cells is set up, but my brother is in there right now, and that's what sparked my interest to want to even decode this. That's how I got to even decode this, because my brother's in Pelican Bay right now. So when I looked at Pelican Bay, and I'm like, where the fuck are you at? And when I actually looked up where it was at, y'all, the download came to me like right away, y'all. Like the ancestors put it on me instantly. And he like, when he went into it, it's a big ass forest. Nothing but green. Just a big ass forest, state park, basically. And they done built a fucking prison, symbolized prison, that's built in the structure of a hexagon and an X, dead smack in the middle of it. It ain't a coincidence. They energy harvesting. So when I went in there, I didn't go in there, but when I'm talking to my brother and he trying to have him explain it without getting a phone cut off, right? I can't look up pictures online. But how these cells is structured in the suit, they're structured in an X. That's how these cells is structured. It's structured in the symbolizing of an X. And I have notes on it, so don't worry about it. We're gonna get into it. But mostly all the souls that's in here are indigenous souls. They all are indigenous souls, and they've been targeted. A lot of them been targeted since kids. So when you look at people that they label as criminals, they're not actually criminals. That's a label that they didn't put on them. They fear. They don't fear criminals, y'all. That's what they do not fear. They fear conscious beings is what they fear. And they know if them beings are conscious, that's inside these prison cells, They in a world awakening for what they can do. And they know this. So they harvesting their energy. And when they harvesting their energy, they're also doing satanic rituals that keeps them in a low vibrational state in these prison cells. Right? Keeps them reflecting trauma over and over again. They didn't strategically constructed these prison cells to harvest the energy and then use satanic rituals to lower the vibration, to keep these ancient spiritual warriors and enlightened beings in a low vibrational state. That's been their goal this whole time. From the layout to the location to the luminous beings that's incarcerated. And this is just one prison now. This is just one prison that I'm decoding. We have prisons all over this fucking land. And you wonder why. They are built on ancient, sacred areas of the land, disrupting ley line activation. That's what they're doing with these prison cells. On top of harvesting the energy of the inmates. Who? They on demon time for real, if that's what you want to call it. So now, these suits, they on 24-hour lockdown, damn near. They only get like, they on 20-hour lockdown if I'm not mistaken. They get like 4 hours a day to just be out in, you know, the public, what they would say, and, you know, outside they get a little daylight, and then they got to come back in, literally. It's mostly lockdown for the most part, right? So now what I want to get into is, let me go through this stuff. I didn't cover most of this. Okay. Now what we finna get into, the other side of this, but they ain't gonna ask. Let's talk about who built it. Who built this structure? We got to get into that. Let's dig into that now. Who built Pelican Bay and how this ties to the shadow government? This is just my theory, though. This is just my theory, y'all. This is just my little mystic theory. All right? So, first and foremost, the owner of the construction company that built Pelican Bay, his name is John A. Caddell. Now, John A. Caddell is the owner of Caddell Construction. Caddell Construction is the company that built Pelican Bay, right? All right, well, yeah, I'm on their ass today. I'm on their motherfucking ass, man. I'm on their motherfucking ass. Now, Caddell Construction, right, was found in 1983, right? John Caddell is the president and CEO of this company. But where did John Caddell get his reputation from? How did he get put on? How did he put on his construction company and get the backing, right? To have the state agency hire you to build Pelican Bay. What was you doing, right? What the fuck was you doing, right? Because it's like, to get that gig, you had to put in some motherfucking work, right? So I'm digging on this John Caddell, right? I'm digging on John Caddell. And like, what's up with John Caddell? Bingo. That shit pops up, right? Let's go down. Let me see where this shit at, man. John Caddell, right? The founders of the Caddell Construction Company were John and Joyce Caddell, right? John Caddell was a former president and CEO of, I think it's called Blunt construction in Blanc Construction. So he was the former president and CEO of Blanc Construction. Now, Blanc Construction is the company that built these NASA launch sites, supposedly. What the fuck? Yeah. Let's rewind that back. Let's rewind that shit back. John Caddell was the president and CEO of Blanc Construction. Blanc Construction built NASA, all the NASA launch sites, right? That's how he got on. Now, we know what the fuck NASA is. We ain't gonna get on it on this episode, because that's a whole nother download. A lot of ancient master teachers got that out there. A lot of starseeds right now got, downloads on what the fuck NASA is. I ain't gonna get on their head, NASA, Walt Disney, and all that connection. Fucking goofballs, right? This company that he was president of was the company that built NASA's launch sites, man. I cannot make this shit up. Now, y'all know who back in NASA? Wink, wink. We know who back in NASA, right? And they say that, another thing I looked at, I'm like, all right, so who invested all this motherfucking money? They swear it wasn't no private agencies. It was the California State Agency. And we know who the fucking California State Agency worked for. The shadow government. Alright? So technically, in my theory, this is just a theory. I'm just a mystic. Right? And my theory is that same company that got hired to build NASA, right? That same company, the CEO and the president of that company started his own company called Caddell Constructions. Caddell Constructions gets hired to build Pelican Bay in Northern California. I think 1991, I think 1991 is when Pelican Bay started construction on that bad boy. Yes, sir. I was a good old 1 year old at that time. In the Gregorian calendar, it ain't a coincidence that John Caddell and Caddell Constructions got the job to build Pelican Bay. Real shit. This has all been a part of the plans to attack these ley line points, these ancient, sacred, powerful ley line points in North America. The real ancient Egypt. Turtle Island. They all over this motherfucker. Doing ley line disruption. Now you gotta understand now. Ley line disruption goes across this whole land. So they got prisons all over the land. They just talked about a new prison that's in Florida. And this prison has been built and surrounded on an island around gators. No cap. If I got it, I'm gonna put it on the screen. No cap. They just built it. They just invested in it. Literally. Just invested in it. Literally. So they're continuing to invest into these prisons when these prisons ain't doing nothing but energy harvesting and ley line disruption. Right? Shit crazy.